Greetings, everyone in Vernon. My name is Karen Davino. I am the Superintendent of Schools. I am here again with Dr. Chuck McKay, the Assistant Superintendent of Schools. We know it is just a couple of days before Thanksgiving. And the first thing I want to say is that we know it has been a really challenging school year. We know that every step of the way things have been changed and modified and adjusted based on what's been happening with COVID. So I just wanted to say to everybody that we understand how challenging it is for you, and the purpose of this podcast is to continue to move the needle forward and try to provide as much support as we can for our children and as much instruction as we can for our children. So based on that, we have a couple of changes, but they're not going to be effective until December 7th. So you've got Thanksgiving this week,
Right.
We've got next week, and we'll talk to you about what's happening then, and then December 7th. So Chuck, why don't you talk about what's going to happen December 7th?
Sure. On December 7th, and we'll talk a little bit about the week in between and why we set up this buffer week and are not starting this till December 7th. But on December 7th, we want everyone to know in our community that we will be going 5 days synchronous every day, so that our students will get live instruction from our teachers from 9 a.m. in the morning until 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So it's very important that live instruction will be offered to our students from 9 to 2, 5 days a week. So that's the first thing that we want to make sure that everyone knows. And I know that this is a slight change from what you're seeing in the virtual plans, but the truth of the matter is, our teachers, particularly at the high school and Glen Meadow, are really virtually teaching like this anyway, and we just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that we were going to do this district-wide, 9 to 2, live instruction 5 days a week. So that's
and there are a couple of really great benefits for this, right? I mean, part of the reason we talked about this was, although our high school and middle school have kind of been doing at least 3 days a week of virtual synchronized instruction, one of the benefits, and we keep hearing this over and over again from parents as well as teachers and students, is we don't have enough time together, right? So as children are trying to learn, when they have a 32-minute lesson and it's only happening 3 times a week in that content area, they're struggling. So we're hoping that by having 5 days a week, it gives the teachers a little bit more time to delve into content, it gives the children more time to understand, increasing teacher-student contact time by a few hours a week, and that's really important.
Right, and these will be Zoom lessons, so it's important that everybody understands that your student, when they get up in the morning, will have their computer open.
Yes.
And they'll be working with the teacher on the Zoom lessons. So that's an integral piece that I know that everyone's familiar with, but we wanted to make sure that you had that. But the other piece is that we're concerned about the role that aides play in our classrooms. So what we're going to do with this buffer week from the November 30th till December 7th is make sure that our aides are trained and ready to go, so they'll be working in the classrooms with our students. We think it's really important that we optimize our aides and make sure that they are helping in every way they possibly can in the classroom live as we move forward. So we have some work to do on that, and getting some equipment to them and making sure that they're ready to go with some training. So.
And the benefit is that we're actually going to have Janet DeScenzo, who has done tremendous work for all of us in the district, create some customized webinars for our aides, so that aides know exactly how they can best support the special needs learners. Remember that the learning is integral for every child, but we know that our special needs learners struggle sometimes, so having the aides be able to provide additional support or longer support or specialized support based on learning new technology and supporting teachers and working with the children, we really hope will start to make a difference for some of our special needs learners.
Right. And again, the idea of more time with our teachers. But we want to make sure also as parents that you are able to encourage your students to be actively involved in their own education. If you saw the board meeting the other evening, you know exactly what we're up against as we talk about some of our students not doing well. And we're shooting for a second marking period in which there's improvement with our students who are struggling. Really it's about engagement. So the idea of trying to engage every day. Our teachers do a wonderful job. And they're working very hard to make sure that every student that they come across gets the education that they need. But the truth of the matter is, you can't educate a child who's not there. So that's a concern that we have. But also, one of the things that might have been left off on Thursday night was how well some of our students are doing. And I just want to say out loud to our students who had a great first semester, first marking period, that we appreciate all the work that you are doing and the amazing amount of work that you were able to get done, being in school 2 days a week, but being virtual 3 days a week.
Yeah.
You are a tribute to your parents and your families, and we're very proud of you. So please keep it up. Don't get discouraged by some of this, if you will, negative talk about what other people are not doing. You're doing it well, and we're very proud of you.
And those students have also served as an inspiration for those
Absolutely.
children who were maybe struggling. I know a lot of teachers, particularly at the high school, have said to students, okay, it's second marking period now, so even though they accepted late work all the way through to the end of the first marking period, second marking period, they're asking students to be a little bit more engaged,
Right.
a little bit more participatory and part of the class. And again, children can't learn if they're not present, right? So parents as partners, we've talked about this way back in the spring. We talked about that triangle, right, Chuck? Where we talked about having the parents and the teachers and the students all being part of that
Absolutely.
really integral learning triangle. So parents, again, we do need for you to do the best you can in getting your children to get on the Zoom. Here are some things that help. 9 o'clock in the morning is not too early for our high school kids. For our elementary school students, they might want to start a little bit earlier. They're up at 6, bouncing off the walls, ready to start the day. But that 9 a.m. Zoom, everybody up at the same time, I think may be a benefit for the district. And really, once our children, I think, start to show up more, perhaps we'll see some better results. And of course, this plan, I think, engages, gives us more instruction, more student-teacher contact time, and I think will really help everybody feel a little bit more unified as we roll into, unfortunately, a virtual period right now because our COVID numbers are getting so high.
So to our virtual students who have been virtual this whole time, congratulations on all of your hard work and all the great things that you have done as well. You are now going to be joined by other classmates who have not been virtual this whole time, but you will be unified at least on the 6 through 12 level. And we look for your leadership because you've done a fantastic job virtually. And then, of course, on the elementary level, you'll be with the same teachers virtually and in person. So we wish you the best of luck. We want you to know that it's 5 days a week, live instruction from our teachers. We have worked out everything we possibly can from this end, and just give us 1 week of buffer to make sure that we're ready with our aides so that they're helping with the classroom, and then we'll be set. Now, if we don't see it, that our folks, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. We know this will be a Thanksgiving unlike any other. Just like everything else this year, we all have to be flexible, and sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah, I agree with Dr. McKay, and like we've said, if you have a small Thanksgiving this year, just remember, even if it's only you and your children, you're still making Thanksgiving memories, and that we are hoping, of course, that before long we can be with our extended families, kind of in the old-fashioned way of having large family gatherings. But we know the challenges this provides, but of course, from us to you, we want to wish you a very special Thanksgiving. We wish you all the best.
Wish you the best.